Ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, before we jump into this one, just a quick message from today's sponsor, my very own day trading course. Guys, if you are returning from a hiatus, if you're someone who's new to the channel, yes, Relentless Trader does provide a day trading course, and I have put my blood, sweat, and tears into these classes, and it is here to help individuals just like you be able to become profitable, to learn how to manage risk. So, for those of you who are day trading, who are looking into scalping and hyper scalping and trading momentum stocks, if you want some guidance, if you need some help, this is the place for you to be. Merciless Markets, myself along with Marcelo and now Tim, we are going in, guys. You now have the ability to join the classes at a discounted rate of 50%, our biggest sale since launch. Coupon code DREAM, because I too and you too can dream. So, if you guys are looking to get involved in the chapters, you want to become a student, you want to be able to potentially win a raffle and come to, a crazy destination with us, and more importantly, learn how to manage risk, learn how to trade, and have guidance as you do so, this is the place to be. The classes do include all the check marks here, as you guys will see, especially for the gold members, when it comes down to one-on-one mentorship, chat room access, Q&As, scanners, halted scans. Ladies and gentlemen, we provide everything. And if you're someone who's new to the channel, the course does go from zero to advance. So we got you covered too. All right. So if you're interested in archives, you might say, Relentless, what in the world is an archive? Guys, I record this screen right here. This is the screen you guys see me looking up every day as I'm trading. This is what I'm looking at here. This screen includes all my instruments and indicators, including the level 2, which definitely gives me an edge in the markets. If you want to be able to see this particular screen here via, the archive, you can go back and watch it and rewind and fast forward. At the end of the days, you can. You'll have access to mine, you'll have access to Marcelo's, and you'll have access to Tim's. We are killing it, guys. We are profitable and we are improving. So be sure to check it out, and we would love to have you a part of the program with the 50% discount. The classes comes all the way down to $665 a year, or every 3 months, $415. All right, guys, depending on how long you think you might need the program. So, with that being said, let's jump into today's recap. It's been a long time since I've plugged my classes. In fact, I really don't do it enough, right? I don't do it enough. There's weeks that I'll go without saying anything. So yeah, let's move on here. All right. So, how in the world, Relentless, were you able to make over $3,000 today? How did you get it done? What were you looking at? What were you doing? Now, I have been showing a ton of archives this week. I've never showed this much archive. And so, for those reasons, today I'm not going to show any archive, right? Today we're going to strictly look at charting. I have to be fair to my students, right? They are paying to make sure that they can see these things. We can't give it away for free every time on YouTube. So, let's talk a little bit about the stocks that I trade. Stock SGBX and stock SGD. These were the top two stocks that I traded. And stock SGD, this one in particular, yesterday gave an incredible move, going all the way from about 58 cents up to a high point of 615, guys, doing over 1,300% in one day. Some people ask us, hey, why not just trade, more reliable and popular company, Fortune 500 company, blue chip stocks? Why not trade Amazon and Tesla and Alphabet and Microsoft? Well, those stocks are great, but at best, throughout the course of a day, maybe we'll get 15, 20% best case scenario. Maybe some super good earnings or something like that. And even then, it's a lot of positioning. But what we've come to realize with these small cap stocks, guys, there isn't a day, and just for example, you can look at the scanner over here on the left hand side. There isn't a day where we show up and there isn't a stock up 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100%, sometimes even more. And so, what we've realized is that there's an abundance of opportunities here if you can understand where to buy, where to sell, and how to manage risk. Is every day a green day? Is every day a solid day? No. We have red days too. But ultimately, if we're disciplined towards the system that we've developed, in the long run, we can be profitable. We can minimize and mitigate our risk when things are slow, and we can excel when things are hot, when the market's in our favor. Do we have red days? Do we have red days? Yes. Look at October, for example, here. A ton of red days, right? We've had better months, but it's all about that consistency in the long run. All right. So let's come back here and let's talk about the chart pattern. So again, this one went up 1,300%. Towards the end of the day, we had a massive drop from 615 all the way down to lows around $2. And this is about a 57% drop off. Very devastating, but the stock was resilient. It bounced from 220 all the way up to $10 by the next morning, going up another 300%. Crazy madness. So, in terms of potential ROI, return on investment, the small caps definitely, if we can position ourselves well, can multiply, and we can definitely do more than that 10% that the overall market does year over year on average. you know so SGD today, let's talk about some context here just so we can paint the picture, and we'll talk about what we were able to do. So we started off like every other day. We checked our scans, right? We checked our Momo Pro scanners, and we saw that this thing was still moving up versus yesterday's levels, and so that got us interested. And from there, after looking at the scans here, SGD, here it is. After looking at the scans, we came over and we started looking at our trend lines. What was yesterday's high? What was, after our highs, right? After our, of course, after market close, around, after 4:30, we mapped out 751, and then we looked at today. What was today's high? $10. Okay, we're starting to paint the picture of the zones and different areas where the stock is bouncing and maneuvering. So we saw here that it held up 615, which is the lower end of the zone, yesterday's high, and we had a high point of $10. Okay, a bit of a midpoint area. We noticed that, a few times it came up, but it had trouble around the 860, 870 area right here. One, a two, and then even a third time, it's not able to hold above this level. So I knew, hey, if this thing can get above 860 and hold up, we can probably see a move back to 10. So coming into the open, I'm watching to see what it wants to do, but we didn't really get that huge move up. We started out, we had a low of 735 and a high of 837. And I started very early. I was watching at the price action here. Let's come down to my log. And guys, by the way, today I took my biggest position ever, about 40,000 shares, I think. We'll have to go back and check one for the record books. But yeah, 9:30 and 30, so 30 seconds into the open, we started watching this thing, and we did miss early entries. We were not as aggressive as we should have been into the open, or else we should have been long. We noticed an entry down here. So we had a low of 735. We noticed an entry at around 750, 760 that we missed, and we weren't able to get involved. This unfortunately did put us on our heels just a little bit, but we were still able to get back involved, watching for that break over the level of 8. So we're in here at 786, 784, just 1,000 shares, small size for me to start the day, and we're back out, getting a small win. And so we continue to watch. We continue to watch. We're back in here at 83. You know, right away we notice this thing is strong. So we amped up our size a little bit more. We really and truly should have had even more shares than this 2000. But we're in at 784 and we're out over the level of 8. We notice this holding above 8. We get back in above 8, a little higher, 816. We're coming out around 837 and 825 or so, you know. So not bad right there. And then we start to wait. We start to wait. We're watching to see how well this thing wants to pull back. We're in at the level of 8 after that push to 850, but it comes back down. And, you know, we're in at 8. It stops us out. We get back in a little lower. And right here, we capture a nice bounce in at 74, out at 93. This is at 31. So all of this is within the first few minutes here, right? And you guys will notice here that we had a low of 69 on this candle. So I'm in at 74. This is essentially a bottom tick is what I'd call this. So I'm in at the low of this candle, and hey, can we bounce back up? Can we get back to 840? If not, you know, can we at least get back to 8? Right here we got back to a high of 810. So, you know, getting in early, capturing some good opportunities. We really should have had more. We should have had like 3,500 shares the moment we noticed it, but you know, we should have clicked it a couple more times. We could have done a little bit better there with some size. But yeah, you know, ultimately we did go up a little bit more right here, but we had a small losing trade. And we decided, hey, on the pullbacks, we need to preserve what we have. On the pullbacks, let's try and capture some of the opportunities. Some of the trades we got chopped out, stopping out a little too soon. But ultimately, you know, all in all, we were able to do well. And so let's talk about the importance of sympathy momentum. My first time ever seeing sympathy momentum was when we had GameStop and AMC. GameStop and AMC, guys. GME and AMC. Back in the days, we had a huge move on GameStop. And you know, these stocks were essentially categorized as meme stocks. This is going back to 2021, January, February. Let's also look at AMC. This one did have a ton of splits, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyhow, as you can see, the charting here, you know, very identical to GameStop at the time, right? And so, you know, when one stock would go up, the other one is to follow. It's going up as well. And so we've seen this throughout the years on different stocks. Sometimes, you know, there'll be a hot stock in a pharmaceutical sector, and maybe another pharmaceutical stock that are selling the same products starts to move. And business wise, it does make sense, right? If you know, if we're selling a cure for the common cold and the other company also has a cure for the common cold and everyone is buying this vaccine, then it just makes sense that that other company should also go up. That's the logic, right? It doesn't have to be complex. And so, you know, SGBX is the holding company for SGD. And so every time this one would go up, every time SGD would go up, SGBX would follow. And so knowing that and also having confirmation from yesterday, so look at the charting here, right? This is a chapter I'm going to add to the classes. Sympathy momentum, right? Sympathy momentum we're going to add to the classes. There's been other examples of it with the banking crisis, you know, Credit Suisse, First Republic Bank. There's even examples with this when it comes to huge economic data and the SPY, right? Just for example, let's take a look here, right? Let's take a look at SPY. This is, of course, an ETF. And let's just go back to the 11th, right? Look at the 11th right here. Look at SPY. This was on CPI data and inflation, right? Coming in lower than expected, right? Lower inflation right now, better. That indicates that the Fed will more than likely pause and then ultimately reduce interest rates, which will allow companies to be more aggressive when it comes to expansion, right? Borrowing. So look at the 11th right here. Boom. You know, good data. Now let's look at all the big blue chip stocks. Let's start with Amazon. Look at Amazon here. Let's go back to the 11th. How did Amazon do on the 11th? Look at that. Boom. Big green candle. Let's look at Tesla. This is what we call sympathy momentum, guys. You know, sometimes we like to think a lot of these things is random. Guys, we got to pay attention to what's going on in this world. And in doing so, we can, you know, essentially gain a bit of an edge. Is this the 11th? Not as close with Tesla. Let's take a look at Apple. Maybe we need to look at a bit of a bigger time frame as well. Big green into the open, uptrend. Yep. So, sympathy momentum, guys. Uh, in fact, I think it's right here. I'm looking at the wrong date. Sympathy mo. Okay, this makes more sense. Sympathy momentum. We have the stocks following in tandem, right? And so today, knowing that, right, SGBX following SGD. This is yesterday. So knowing that, today I was ready to go. Yesterday I was trading very soft, not being aggressive, not using size. Today we're not going to make that mistake. So when this one went and took off, we got involved here. And let's pull up the show trade so that you guys can see how aggressive I was getting here. I was looking to go parabolic. Let's go to the time frame. This was around 9:39. So, SGBX, the other one is moving here. I'm long at 705. And I believe there's one of these positions I held for a while. Let's see if I can find it here for SGD. So this one was just a couple seconds. Let's come on up. Let's see if we can find SGD here. I think it was this position. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. Let's keep looking. I want to show you guys this trade that I attempted and how crazy it could have been, very close to being something very special. Let's come on up. I think it's right here. Okay, I think this is it. So I'm in SGD at 45, right? This sell is going to come at 46.21. So I'm in there for a full minute and I'm in at 760. I'm out at 785. But at one point, the stock was trying to get halted up at, I believe, over the level of 8. And so knowing that this one will be following, look at the aggression right here that, took place. I'm buying 6, 12, 18, 24, like just going crazy, 30,000 plus shares, 36,000 shares here, looking for the move. I didn't want to show any archives, but I think we might have to just take a look at this one here. Just for the culture, man. Just for the culture. You know what? No, we can't do it. We can't do it. We gotta respect the students. All right, guys. But anyhow, the position ultimately did not work out like I wanted it to because we didn't get halted up. It was a false halt. But, this is what I like to see for myself. Trusting what's happening in front of me, reacting real time, and putting forward the initiative. And this is trading for me at its fullest. And I look forward to doing this more over time. So, big position there, looking forward to the opportunity, looking forward to the momentum, looking to keep the risk tight, and looking to push forward. And ultimately we ended up having a good day. We did give back some profits. We were up about 1,300 on this one. But with share size like that, you gotta expect that you're gonna lose a little something. For that type of size, though, we kept the risk well in check. So all in all, great trading. We caught some pretty good dips on the backside here. I don't love the backside, but the backside does offer some opportunity from time to time, especially when the stock has range. And so as we start to break down and sell off, with the first halt resumption here, first 1 minute candle making the new high over 30, rips up to 58. We sell off. We priced in our low at 575. From 575, we bounce. We get to a high of 6. We come down to a low 566. If you ask me, this is just like a small breakdown, and then it reclaims from 66 to a high of 608. All of this is opportunity. It's down. Same thing again right here. And you can kind of milk this stuff over and over as long as you're willing to take on the risk. But what is the risk? The risk is that this big red candle could come early. This big red candle right here could come at any moment. It can be here, it can be here, and so forth and so forth. So you got to understand the risk. You got to be willing to accept the risk. And if you are, you can see opportunity. All right. So, guys, remember as we show up to trade every day, to follow our rules. Let's be disciplined traders. Let's look forward to being our best selves. Let's understand that we are part of a community and we need to utilize the community in the correct way. Let's look forward to let's look forward to, you know, being encouraged, to being inspired, to being motivated. All right. Let's utilize the good, positive energy around us. Do not fall victim to FOMO. Do not fall victim to comparison. Do not fall victim to jealousy. We have to utilize the community to its advantage. All right. So we have to think positively and we have to stay positive, and in turn, that will give us the motivation to keep pushing to higher levels. So, you know, keep that in mind as you're in and around the community. Lastly, I do want to say this, guys. Remember the risks. Remember, if you're new, if you're someone who's new to the channel, new to the community, and you're seeing me today making 3,000, this is not an overnight thing. This is, me working, grinding, and studying for years. I've been trading for 5 years now, and I'm only now getting to these levels. It is a process. So take it slow. You know, do the responsible thing for yourself, your relatives, your loved ones, and approach the market in a way where exposure to risk is limited. You have to want it bad enough to understand when to ease and when to press. If you want it and you push too hard too quickly, you'll go up in flames. You know, this field is a delicate field, and we all have to surrender ourselves to the market, and we have to understand that the market is bigger than any one of us. And so it's not the place to have an ego, it's not the place to be prideful. We have to surrender ourselves, and in doing so, we'll be open to receiving the feedback that the market is giving us. And ultimately, that allows us to be able to take the criticism, right? Judge ourselves, judge our trading, and improve as we go. All right. So let's keep improving. As you guys know, here in this community, I do not set any sort of monetary goal. My only goal as I show up here every day is to be the best version that I can be, the best self, my best self. Can I keep improving on the things that I'm noticing, and over time become a better trader? Whatever amount that equates to, it'll be whatever amount that is. But my only goal is progress. And right now, we're looking forward to being very self aware. We're looking forward to making improvements. With that being said, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, utilize coupon code DREAM for the course, and I'll see you guys on Monday morning for another beautiful day in the markets. It's been Relentless Trader, and I am signing out.